Hey y'all, it's Pam Pryor checking in, and just wanted to say hi to everybody and share a story from today that really jumped out at me as something I thought I was paying attention to, but apparently I'm not paying very good attention to it. So I had a really good call today with an entrepreneur who's starting up an amazing business. It's founded on an incredible idea. He's a serial entrepreneur, so I know for sure it's going to succeed. He's surrounding himself with amazing people, and it's the real focus of this is to give back, which is the entrepreneurs and the business owners that I love the most to work with, and he is one of those guys. And we were talking, and he was telling me about what he's planning and talking about kind of what I might be able to do to help, and it involved doing some business modeling for them from a financial standpoint. And he said, well, I don't really need a forecast, I just have some goals, and let me tell you what those are. And he went on to outline those goals in a huge amount of detail, and I was able to take a bunch of notes. He didn't think there was a lot of clarity around them, but there was a ton of clarity around what he was sharing. And I took a bunch of notes, and at the end of that, I said, and I still don't know why I said it, I kicked myself for it, I said, oh, that really is, all the components of a forecast. It was kind of like I had to say, oh, no, that's not goals, that's a forecast. And I stepped back away from it. He was fine with it. He probably didn't even think twice about it. But I learned something incredible in that particular moment. And that is what I think something is called and what my potential client or client thinks something is called are often going to be two different things. And if my person on the other end of the phone is an entrepreneur or a small business person, and they're talking about goals, why do I care what I call them, right? If he's telling a story and I can help him based on what I know how to do in my zone of genius and my expertise, just help him, Pam. Don't correct the semantics. And that was the big lesson today. And the reason I think it's important is for me personally, it's important because my mission is to prove to at least 10,000 entrepreneurs in the next year that finance can be fun. And I intend to do it, and I intend to show them, and we're going to do it together. And a year from now, we're going to have 10,000 entrepreneurs either all in one place or virtually via an Eric Whitaker type virtual song get online and say, finance is fun. And they're going to mean it. Okay, so I've decided that that's my mission. Well, if I in any way think that I'm going to serve that mission by having people adapt to my language, I'm barking up the wrong tree. So it was a real lesson to me that in order to serve that audience, in order to make finance fun for entrepreneurs who are just starting out, for $5 million businesses, for $20 million businesses, for $100 million businesses, my job is to serve them in a way that makes sense to them, using the language that makes sense to them. And this kind of tied in with thinking about you all and the businesses you're starting, because all of you have a zone of genius. And in that zone of genius, as aware as I am or try to be about making sure I don't speak technical speak, I still make those mistakes, and I'm betting a lot of us do. So just wanted to throw that out there as a challenge to think about when you're talking to potential clients or clients. And even though you don't intend for it to, those little slip-ups can distance them, can make them feel removed from you personally, and it's all about relationships in what we do. When I'm a friend in a foxhole to a CFO, when I'm a quarterback CFO to a particular entrepreneur or business owner, my job is to make sure they have the information that they need, when they need it, in the format that they need it. They are functioning at a level of brilliance that I can only conceive of. As they're flying by dealing with all of their business issues, my job is to reach out, hand them that piece of paper or that piece of information so they can snatch it and keep going and not have to stop for a minute. And when they look at it, when they need it, it makes 100% sense to them and their language. But they don't have to call me and say, oh, Pam, what does this mean? That's the goal. One of my clients recently said, wow, and this was after a lot of time putting things together, said, hey, that was the best. I spent 1 hour with her reviewing the financials for the month, and she said that was the best hour I've spent in my business all month. That's the goal. And you don't get to that goal by speaking your own language. You get to that goal by speaking your client's language. So just challenge you to think about that in your businesses too, because I think that was a really helpful tip today for me, certainly, and I really wanted to share it. And it brought to mind another piece of advice I get from a really brilliant mentor of mine who said, simplify what you're talking about. When you think you've simplified it, simplify it again. And when you think you've simplified it again, simplify it again. And I remember the first time he told me that, I pushed back on him a little bit and said, gosh, that's an insult to the intelligence of these brilliant entrepreneurs. And he said, Pam, these brilliant entrepreneurs honestly don't give a crap if they understand accounting or if they understand your terminology. So it's not an insult to their intelligence. It's actually a compliment to your respect for their time. And that really registered. So the object is, and the way that I kind of translated that, sorry, I know I hit my mic, I apologize for that. The way that I translate that is to break it down into smaller and smaller chunks. So that instead of talking about treasury, or, okay, I'll break that down to banking, okay, I'll break that down to a checking account, okay, I'll break that down to deposits in a checking account, okay, I'll break that down to Square. That's not insulting the intelligence of my audience. That's giving them bite-sized nuggets they can hang on to in the time that they have to deal with the finance pillar in their business. And my job is to give them a finance pillar in their business that is so easy to integrate that they don't even think twice about shoving a report that I hand them in their drawer. Because they know when they look at it, whatever time they spend on it is going to be worthwhile time. And that's really what you want to do for all of your businesses, in all of your businesses, for your clients. So the fact that that's something I pay attention to and still really mucked up today, just wanted to share that, say mea culpa, and see if we can maybe help one other person from not making that same mistake today. In the meanwhile, say it with me, finance is fun. Take care, have a great night. Oh, just as an aside, we're going to be moving these daily live type tips and tricks over to the Pam Pryor radio show fan page and get them off of the Pam Pryor personal page probably on September 15th. So I'll keep doing these here for a little while and sharing them over to the fan page, but eventually we're going to get them out of here and move them to that fan page alone. So if you're interested, go find the Pam Pryor fan page. If you type Pam Pryor, Pam Prior, up in the Facebook bar, you will see both my personal account and the page. Grab that page account and like it. Everything I'm doing on my personal page is getting shared over there if it relates to the business. And soon, once we get to launch the podcast on September 12th, once the book comes out in hard copy, Your First CFO, and once my course is launched, that's all happening between September 12th and October 1st. And we're going to get all this off of my personal page and over to that fan page. So, again, take care, everybody. Have a great night. If you're at all interested in the podcast cash flow, PM me, drop a comment, show a thumbs up, send me a heart, whatever you want. And let me know, and I'll make sure to get you on the podcast launch team because we are going to have a blast with that. Thanks an awful lot. Take care. Bye-bye now.